Hi, welcome back to Your Future, Your Finances. I'm your host, Brian Kuhn. Now we have Neil Tyra of the Neil Tyra Law Firm. Thanks for coming on the show.
Thank you very much, Brian, for having me. Appreciate it.
We're going to talk about estate planning, which is a very important topic. But first, tell us a little bit about your background and bio.
Well, thank you. I'm a local attorney here in Rockville, Maryland, and have been practicing for the last several years, primarily in family law, and have recently been transitioning my practice to include estate planning and elder law, as we find that the population and the need is gravitating towards those two areas.
Yeah.
Okay? I'm a graduate of the Columbus School of Law at Catholic University, very proud graduate of that school, and I'm a solo practitioner at the Tyra Law Firm, and I draw on the assistance of people like you and others to assist specialized needs.
Mm-hmm. So the term estate planning, talk about it. What does that mean? What is estate planning?
Well, the short answer is it is the method for the orderly transfer of wealth. And it stems from Old English law, in which the king died and everything went to the prince. And so now we have methodologies and tools and statutes that provide for that orderly transfer. So when you pass, your assets and your the tangible items that you own get distributed in accordance with your wishes. And that's what estate planning is.
So orderly transfer of wealth. So does that imply you have to be rich to do estate planning?
Well, far from it. It's people tend to think that, but if you have anything of value, and it could be just a family heirloom, or the house that you live in, or a retirement fund that you've worked to fund all your working life, you might be just distinctly middle class, but those are things that are important to you. And how they get passed on is typically a choice that you need to make that reflects your wishes, as opposed to leaving it, say, to the government to decide, which is what happens if you don't do estate planning. The government will then step in and distribute your wealth in accordance with the laws of the state.
So also within estate planning, there's a term probate, which it seems like a lot of people want to avoid for whatever reason. So what's probate?
Yeah, probate is the legal process by which the court administers that transfer of wealth. So here in Montgomery County, that's done by the Montgomery County Circuit Court, the probate division. And so probate would look at the deceased assets and liabilities, so what they have and what they owe, and would see to it that, to the greatest extent possible, the people that they owe money to, or institutions they owe money to, are paid, and then whatever's left is distributed in accordance with the wishes of the person who's deceased.
So that's the probate process. So there's a probate and then non-probate assets or process.
Well, exactly, and this is, I think, an area where people aren't really clear. There's a lot of transfer of wealth that can take place outside of that process. So we call those non-probate transfers. And that means that typical types of assets like real estate, if real estate is jointly owned with a right of survivorship, then when one of the owners dies, say one of the spouses, the other spouse inherits, if you will, the entire piece of property by operation of law. That doesn't have to go through probate. Other typical things that people might recognize are accounts that would have a pay on death specification.
Sure.
Meaning if the account owner passes away, those assets are transferred to the person who is designated as the pay on death designee. Again, that happens without the involvement of the court. And then lastly, any type of account or investment product that has a beneficiary designation, those assets would be transferred to the beneficiary upon the death of the holder without the involvement of the probate court or probate process.
So what are a typical set of documents you would draft for someone to assist with that process?
Well, there's a couple of things, and we'll start off with the two that I think are easiest to understand. One's the power of attorney. Okay? Power of attorney is a legal tool, a document that's drawn up to specify somebody to make decisions for you in the event that you're unable to do so for yourself.
Okay.
That means that if you're incapacitated due to health or due to injury or, say, for dementia, you need somebody to be able to make those decisions that you would typically make on your own. And the power of attorney gives that person the authority to do just that. Mm-hmm. Another document is what we call the Advanced Healthcare Directive. And that's a similar product that it names an agent who can make healthcare decisions on your behalf. And sometimes in some places is referred to as a living will, because you're specifying not only who can make the decisions, but what type of treatment that you are willing to accept if you're not able to articulate those decisions on your own.
Yeah. Okay. We're going to take a short break. We'll come back and talk about trust planning and also maintaining your estate plan over time. We're talking with Neil Tyra of the Tyra Law Firm. You're watching Your Future, Your Finances. We'll be right back.